G'day there guys, it's your Aussie hubby Markee, back at it again with another episode of r/Am I the A-hole? Now if you love me like I love you, then you know what to do. I want you to tackle that like button, like what? Steve Owen would tackle a bloody crocodile, that's the one. Maybe even chuck an Aussie flag down in the comments. Now with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for some bloody good content. Posted by user Nikki98, titled, Am I the a-hole for wanting to sleep in my own bed? Earlier this year, my brother and his boyfriend split up and his boyfriend kept the apartment, so my brother was left homeless. My mum let him move back here under the condition that me and him alternate between the sofa and the bed. After one night on the sofa, he said he was too stressed out by my stepdad getting up early that he didn't want to sleep on it, and when it was my night for the bed he'd say, I'm upset. Can I have the bed tonight, please? I want a decent night's sleep. So I said yeah the first few times. This was 4 months ago, and I've been on the sofa every night because he flat out refuses to. Lately, my joints have been aching more and it hurts to move. I have Ehlers loss syndrome, so my joints tend to ache more when I can't move much, and on the sofa, it's hard to get into a position where something doesn't slip out. I tried to talk to my parents about it, but I got shouted at, and my mum screamed, what do I expect her to do? Yesterday, he called my room his room and screamed at me to get out when I was trying to get my hairbrush, so I shouted back that it's not his room, it's mine, and that we had a deal that we would share. He called me a selfish tramp and to freak off out of his room and stop hassling him. My mum has taken his side and that he's going through a rough time. I have tried to be supportive. I've brought him presents and comfort food, listened to him vent. I don't know, am I the a-hole? Update, I've shown this to my mum that everyone else agrees with me and she's going to have a word with my brother. I'll keep updated. Update 2, I called my nana to vent and she went mental and demanded to speak to my mum. I heard a lot of shouting down the phone and she said either me and my brother can come live with her for a bit. It's been decided he'll live with Nana until he sorts himself out and pays his way by helping her around her flat. Thank you so much for all the advice. I'm installing a lock tomorrow just in case Nana gets sick of him. Look, absolutely OP is not the a-hole in this situation. Just because there was a split in that relationship does not give you the ability to absolutely lock someone out of their room with Ehlers loss syndrome. My god, that is a terrible affliction to have upon your body, and no one should be subject to pretty much torture that they would be going through on the couch there. That's disgusting behavior by the brother. Not the a-hole. Your mum is enabling him, and he's not doing anything to better himself emotionally. He's being selfish and using his breakup as an excuse for being a dick. It's been 4 months, he needs to try to move on. I frankly don't know how he justifies his behavior. It's been 4 months and they were supposed to alternate. I hope OP gets her room back. I can't imagine why the boyfriend kicked him out. Who knows, man, who knows? As someone with chronic joint pain, either EDS or lupus, I can say for sure that your brother is a selfish dickhole. I'm sorry you have to go through this. I know how crappy sleeping on a couch is with joints that won't behave. He came in asking for a place to stay because he was homeless. He broke the agreement you both had and then hijacks your room claiming it is his. No, OP, you are not the a-hole. He's just being a dramatic and selfish choosing beggar, and that your mother is supporting him only enables his behavior. If someone came to me asking for a place to stay and then acts like that, they'll be on the streets the next day. Not the a-hole, and I'm sorry that your mother took his side. Where did you and your brother sleep before he moved out? I can't believe your brother is okay with putting you on the couch like that. He's a huge a-hole, and I think your mum has taken his side because it's easier that way. I would continue to confront him about it. Don't make it easy on him. When my brother used to live with us, we were in a house with 3 rooms. So we had 1 each, and when he left, we had to downsize to a 2-bedroom bungalow due to me and my mum being disabled. I've tried, but he's really stubborn. My friend is letting me stay at hers for a bit. Posted by user MaddieSun2020, titled, Am I the a-hole for being angry and upset my sibling bought my sister a car? Like a lot of people, I had to save up and buy my own car. I was lucky to find an old Volvo in 2016 when I started my freshman year of college. All 4 of my siblings got cars from my parents, but times changed, and they couldn't afford one for me. My sister, who I love, has crashed 2 of her cars. Each time my other siblings pitched in to buy her another car. At the time, it didn't really bother me since I had my own car. In 2019, my Volvo had major mechanical failures, and the repairs would cost more than the value of the car. I had a job, but I still couldn't afford the repairs. So I spent my senior year of college without a car. Thankfully, the bus system was amazing, and it took me to my job and other places I needed to go. In January, my sister's car broke down, but it still works. I woke up last week to a new car in the driveway, and for a few minutes, I thought it was mine. When it was given to my sister, I lost it. Everyone in my family was home, and I let them have it. She doesn't have a job, so she doesn't need it for work. This is her 3rd car. My internship couldn't bring me on full-time, so I can't afford to buy a car. I'm still ticked off at what happened. They knew I needed a car, and they bought her one. This sounds like a very sticky family situation in which if OP was to be bought a car, that woman who has 3 cars now bought for her would absolutely go off, and much like that last one, the mother making a decision whether or not she's gonna, whose side she's gonna be on, probably easier to be on the sister who has 3 cars side, and that is morally wrong. Who's the a-hole in this situation? Everyone but OP. OP, I would say, is justified in their reaction and their anger at the siblings for doing this, but ultimately, morally and legally, that's up to the siblings to choose in the end who they can buy that for, but come on. It's your own flesh and blood, and they need the car. They're the harder worker, they're responsible, it looks like from this. So I'm gonna go with not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. This whole "you're not entitled" line of reasoning sometimes goes too far here. If your family's internal culture is to pull together and help each other out when you can, and you've participated in that as a general rule, then heck yes, you're entitled to their help when it's your turn. That's the dynamic that's been set up in your family, and what you've been raised to believe in, not just expect. For the people here wishing to be pedantic, the fact is you may not be entitled to a car, but you are entitled to a reciprocation. I can just imagine OP being like, okay, I've helped you financially through all these situations, big sister, stepsister. Now I want the favor back, and the sister's like, how dare you? How dare you ask for that? You are lower than me, scum. You will do no such thing, and you will continue to provide for me. Sweet Potato 37, and taking all the reasoning out of it, damn, it hurts when you're treated differently to everyone else. Yup. I have 3 brothers. My parents say they love all of us the same, but it's obvious they don't like me as much. Aww. Middle child. I can confirm that I am not treated the same as my older and younger sibling. Not the a-hole. She sounds like the golden child in the family, and you are the throwaway one, which is just there to be. But you still shouldn't get in an argument with them. It is their money, they decide what to do. If they don't want to buy you a car, it is their decision. You do not have the right to be upset about that. Of course they have the right to be upset about it. You, say, bust your lip open at your brother's place, and he makes you call a cab because he doesn't feel like driving. You have a right to be mad. You can expect things from people in your life. It doesn't make you an a-hole to expect your family to help when and if they can. God, this sub is messed up. I hope people aren't actually using this place as some sort of moral barometer. Sorry, English is not my native language. I don't really mean that you can't be upset. I just don't really know much better words to express my idea here. Sorry for getting upset at you. Perhaps you meant there is no point in arguing with them about it. I'd agree with you there. It is very hard to get a group of people to change behaviors that apparently have lasted for at least 2 cars. I like them measuring it by the metric of cars. That's a good one. Not the a-hole. Why would anyone keep buying cars for someone who keeps breaking them? It is only natural to see the precedent of your family buying cars for someone after theirs broke, and assume that they would do the same for you after your car broke. That being said, you aren't entitled to a car and should tell your family just that. You aren't upset because you don't have a car, but because you feel like your sister gets preferential treatment over you. Maybe you can ask your sister to share the car with you so that you can take it to get to work and she can use it on the weekends or something like that. Exactly this. It's the principle behind it, the blatant favoritism. I would have immensely hurt feelings. I have sisters, and our parents have always been equally generous with us. We don't keep a score, of course, but when something happens to one of us, we know our parents will always be there to help us. And if we all needed help at the same time, resources would be split. That car should be in both of their names and shared. What their parents did was wrong. Posted by user Am I the A-hole gold mum? Titled, Am I the a-hole for pointing out that my mum is as much of a gold digger as my sister's boyfriend? This is why I love this subreddit. Who thinks of these things? My 21 female mum, 53 genderless, met my dad, 54 genderless, in college. My dad comes from old family money, but my mum's family was very middle class. But when my sister, 24 genderless, and I were growing up, my mum acted like she had always been upper class, and is very snobbish. I remember how we would go to dinner with her siblings, and she would insist on choosing the restaurant to make sure it was up to her standards. Make a big show of paying the bill, and then would just crap talk her siblings and their spouses and kids the whole way home, making fun of their clothes, cars, jobs, you name it. She has always placed importance in whoever was the wealthiest and had the best family, and wouldn't let my sister and I hang out with kids after school who weren't up to her standards. It's made our relationship a little strained, especially since she obsesses about these things today, but she's my mum and I love her. Anyways, due to COVID, I'm staying with my parents since my college sent everybody home. My sister is living in another state, but we have family Zoom calls once a week. On one of the early Zoom calls, my sister told us that she had a new boyfriend, and they ended up moving in together for quarantine. My sister has her own apartment, which my parents pay for partially. They go to the same law school, and he seemed very sweet when we talked to him. My mum started in with the parents' childhood plans line of questioning. He told her that he had gotten a scholarship for law school since his dad was a construction worker and his mum was a preschool teacher, and that he grew up in a small town. My mum was super chilly to him after this, and afterwards went on a rant about how he wasn't good enough for sister, and how he just wants her money after all. My dad and I thought she'd stop, but she did this every single call. Super cold to a perfectly nice guy, tips Fedora, and ranting and trash-talking about him afterwards. She did the whole thing again after our most recent call, and I was pretty fed up. I asked her to stop saying that stuff, and she said it was the truth, that he was just a gold digger. But she ain't messing with no bro. I asked her how she was different from him since she grew up a lot like him, and asked if she just wanted dad's money after all. She got super upset with me and didn't tell me to get out or anything, but she's been sort of ignoring me since then and makes passive-aggressive comments or mentioning how she's been crying. My dad talked to me after dinner and said that I really hurt her feelings, and she just wants to make sure my sister ends up with a good guy, even if she doesn't seem like it. He said that she was just trying to be a good mum, and I upset her. I feel really bad. She can be annoying at times, but she is my mum, and I don't want to hurt her. Am I the a-hole? I don't know about you guys, I'm gonna say everyone sucks here. OP does suck for giving it to her like that, the same way that she was giving it to her own daughter, like, she's fighting fire with her own fire. Not the best kind of fire either, this is like an upsetting can of tuna that you open and the smell goes everywhere and you're like, God, why did I do this to myself? Why didn't I open the more preferential can of beans that everyone enjoys, and I wouldn't be the a-hole if I did that one? So basically what I'm trying to say is that everyone sucks here because they're not nice. No one's nice here. Not the a-hole. You hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer with your retort. Truth hurts, and she will hopefully have an epiphany over it, or maybe has. Either way, I wouldn't beat yourself over it. Hopefully she at minimum stops with the snobbiness. Hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer. Wow. I tip my cap to you, sir. To be honest, it sounds like she is projecting. I wonder how OP's dad's family treated her when she first joined his family. Don't let that boy trap you like I've trapped your father. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. As a normal person who isn't a gold digger, my first opinion of someone who earns less than his girlfriend isn't that he must be a gold digger, especially when he has been nothing but nice. It has projection written all over it. She needs to learn not to throw stones when she lives in a glass house. That's a really nice way to put it. I really like that. Someone suggests watching Crazy Rich Asians with the mum. That's also a good suggestion. Not the a-hole. Your sister's boyfriend is in law school, by scholarship. He is smart, sweet, by OP's words, and seems to be making your sister happy. If your mum was worried about your sister, then these should be the more important attributes. Bringing your mum down a peg is important. A lot of young women pretend their parents don't sway their decisions, but they definitely can. By your mum looking out for her, she immediately dismissed all these positive qualities I've listed above. Further, she automatically assumes this guy is after only your sister's money, which completely devalues your sister as a person. Your mum needs to realize that marrying money was her motive, but is not a universal want. She is biased and leading your sister in the wrong direction. Biased, if you want to call it that. I hope your sister is smart enough to reason through her advice. Upon further inspection, no one else reckons everyone sucks here. It's all not the a-hole, so I may be wrong and I'm more than inclined to change my judgment. That was just my immediate reaction to this one, and I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Posted by user Mr. Roboto 1982. Titled, Am I the a-hole for playfully flirting with my brother's wife? Edit, I just want to stress this out that I had zero intentions on having an affair on my sister-in-law or anyone else. I love my wife dearly. I understand the title sounds very bad, but allow me to explain myself. I, male 38, am happily married to my beautiful wife, female 24. I know the age gap is questionable, but trust me, we've met only a few years ago and finally married within the past year. My brother, male 32, is also married to his lovely wife, female 34. My relationship to my brother prior to this incident has never been strained to a huge extent. I considered us to be very close. Growing up, I was considered by my peers to be very charismatic and charming. I have this habit of just flirting with random strangers if the vibe flows right. I have very much been accused of that before. A lot of the time, I don't even intend to flirt, it just happens, I guess. Same, feel that. Most of the time, it doesn't really go anywhere though. I've got a few dates out of my habit. That's how I met my children's mother and my wife in the first place. I've continued my habit through my relationship, but I've never actually cheated on her. At that point, I was just being playful and jokeful about it with other women, and they all seemed to be fine with it, and I made sure they seemed alright with it first. I made sure to not do it when my wife is around because I was worried she would take it out of context. I screwed up when I was having a private conversation with my brother's wife. It was a normal talk about family stuff until my habit kicked in and I started making flirting comments in jest. I'd never done that with her before, but for some reason, something popped in my head and I started making them. They were all just stupid puns. I said crap like, if you were a vegetable, you'd be a cucumber, and I wish your name was Lightning because I'd make you McQueen. Again, I had no intention of starting an affair, I was just messing around. I think stupid puns are a bit too far for flirting. It's kind of like awkward, weird, what is your intention here, buddy? When the conversation ended, I left her and my brother's house. I got a call from him and he was screaming. He asked what the hell was wrong from me and accused me of being a creep. He also said my sister-in-law will be calling my wife. He hung up without me getting a chance to rebuke him. I made him home, and you guessed it, my wife was fuming mad. I tried explaining to her that I was just kidding around and being playful. She didn't want to hear, and forced me to leave the house. I'm currently writing this from my parents' house. They also were disappointed in me for what I did. I'm just confused, because everyone knew I had always had a flirty personality. This is the first time that just being me has blown back hard on me. Am I the a-hole? Edit 2, I'm getting nasty DMs from all kinds of people. I only posted this to confirm if I'm the a-hole or not. No need to take it personal. Well, as you might have picked up from my jabs through this one, I'm definitely going to go with the vibe here and say that they are the a-hole. You can be yourself, but it's no justification for the clear vibe that you brought across. And that's where self-awareness and checking your behavior comes into the equation. You can read a vibe in a room. You can't just say, oh, I was unaware that the vibe changed and people were uncomfortable with me. I just had to keep going. It's like, you lack incredible self-awareness, and I don't believe you when you say that. Are you not just using this as an excuse? And there I tip my hat to you, sir. You are the a-hole. Texas World says, you're the a-hole. Yeehaw. I made sure to not do it when my wife is around because I was worried she'd take it out of context. Sounds to me like you can definitely control yourself, you just choose not to. Unless, of course, your wife is around. Also, sounds like he definitely knows his behavior is wrong, considering the hiding it from his wife. Come on, go easy on the poor guy, he doesn't mean to flirt. It just happens. I swear OP would be lucky to have his wife take him back. If you love your wife, there is no need to be flirting with other women. Super glad the sister-in-law does not condone this behavior. Also, from these examples, his flirting game is just so pitiful. Ka-chow! Lightning McQueen, right? What's your number? You're the a-hole, and it's astounding you don't even see that. These stupid pickup lines. What even is this? Cringiest thing I've ever read. If this is for real, then I think you're overestimating your flirting ability. Furthermore, who flirts with their sister-in-law? Dude, no. Just no. What? You didn't get charismatic and charming from that material? Clearly you don't know how to flirt. OP, stop making women uncomfortable with your weird jokes. Exactly. The moment OP called themselves charismatic, a red flag went off in my head. Cue everyone in my comments saying, no, it's not red flag, stop saying that. Then I actually saw the jokes they made and then remembered their age. Those jokes are cute coming from a 10-year-old, not a 30-year-old man. You nasty OP. He's closer to 40 than 30, by the way. You are the a-hole, absolutely. The fact that you pointed out you don't do this in front of your wife means 1, you know it's wrong, and 2, you can control it. Flirting like that is an a-hole move for someone in a monogamous relationship, and it's creepy AF to do with your husband's wife. Yep, I feel that, Posted by user Thrown Away Throwaway L. Titled, Am I the a-hole for calling my grandson a little monkey as a nickname? I don't think it's a big deal, but I guess my husband and I have offended people, so here it goes. Last year, my daughter married a black man. It doesn't matter to us, but I guess it's relevant here. We never really liked him because he has an annoying personality, but he seems to think it's because of his race. Most certainly not. We do all tolerate each other though. Granny, come on. My grandson started walking at 9 months, and ever since he's been jumping and climbing on top of anything he can, so my husband and I start calling him our little monkey. He loves the name as well, so it wasn't a problem. Till recently, however, when her husband came and confronted me on it, and said it was grossly inappropriate to call him that. I apologized for how he felt on it, but as long as my grandson likes it, I will keep using it. He then spent an hour grilling the poor child, even after he said he liked the name. Now my daughter calls me to apologize for what he posted and find out that he's posted subliminal messages about the whole problem on social media. He's since removed it, but says he stands by what he says. If it applies any context, I use animals as nicknames as a usual thing, i.e., I refer to my daughter as a falcon because of how fast she can run. It's more about behaviors. Reddit reckons that you're the a-hole here in this situation. I'm gonna go by the fact that he spent an hour grilling his poor child after he said he liked the name. That everyone sucks here. You don't do that to your child. Explain it in a normal way. Sit him down and say, hey, we can't have Granny saying this. It's wrong. You don't understand why it's wrong. You'll know when you're older. You don't spend an hour grilling the child. Absolutely everyone sucks here in this situation. What a stupid way to deal with this. And for the person, obviously the OP in this context, very, very wrong to be saying that. That's absolute self-awareness is not there. Very racist to be saying monkey. That is disgusting as well. Of course they're going to be sensitive about it. What with the way the world is? We've moved past that. That's something that should be of the past. You can't justify it with the fact that you call everyone by animals, you know? Where is the line? Where do we draw the line? Where are you going to push the line for that? What other behaviors and things are you going to give yourself a pass for just because I do it for other people? It's not acceptable. Everyone sucks here. You're the a-hole. You apologized for how he felt? That's incredibly condescending. Double you're the a-hole. The boy's father asked you to stop, respect him as a parent and know your place. Stop using a nickname you know goddamn well has racist undertones that are over the kid's head and pick a different hill to die on. You don't get to decide what is and what is not racist, and that's coming from a white guy. All that aside, you were told to stop by his parents, so stop. So much this. You had your chance to parent, now there is tension between the father and you. I am wondering if you want to keep using the nickname he does not like to further antagonize him. Grandparents have a role, for as long as the parent allows it, and going against the parent is a really good way to have that role downgraded, or removed. Last year, my daughter married a black man. It doesn't matter to us, but I guess it's relevant later. She knew she was wrong from the start. Seriously, you're the a-hole. What the hell is this woman thinking? You're the a-hole. It's a microaggression with everything going on, and there are so many resources where you can learn how to better yourself and learn about how the things you say and do have a history. You argue that your grandson likes it. He's 9 months old. He doesn't understand the context of this word within its cultural history that his father does. To ignore how his father feels for your benefit makes you a pretty crappy person. Clarification, the grandson was 9 months old when he started walking. He is now 4 years old. Yeah, I saw that in one of the previous comments, but the point still stands. It's not a microaggression. OP is straight racist. She doesn't like her black son-in-law, won't even refer to him as that, doesn't respect his feelings at all, and does whatever she wants against the child's parents' wishes. And she calls her grandson a nickname that is easily misconstrued as racist, if it's not intentionally racist. It's possible that's all a coincidence, and OP is a great person, but come on, all the signs are here, OP is a racist. And I'm open to change my interpretation to just you're the a-hole in this situation, which I absolutely agree with. It's just that I don't like to see children as young as 4 punished in the wrong way that's going to send the wrong message to the kid and have repercussions as they grow older. I don't think it's right to punish them like that. There are new ways to do it, but I don't want to harp on that. I don't want to seem like I'm just attacking the parents. I'm absolutely not. I disagree absolutely and outright with the OP, and I support everyone that is saying you're the a-hole in this situation. G'day there guys, Outro Markee here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Now with that said, we have some special mentions. Everyone that signed up for my Patreon, everyone that's a channel member, you guys all know who you are. I'm going to start putting you on screen in the near future. Sorry, I'm very lazy, but I do love each and every one of you, and you all know that. If you want to join, there is links down in the description below. If you want to be a channel member, there's a join button next to subscribe. It helps me out immensely. Also, I have a second channel that does memes. It's called Markee 2. It should be on screen here now. If you like memes and you want to laugh with me, it's some not so politically correct content all the time. Hope you enjoy it. Click on the screen, subscribe, and enjoy the memes. That's all I have for today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.